With 75% failure rate in the first year, agents, my question for you is, why are you still here? Hey guys, it's Katie. I am here with episode 2 of Faith at Work, and we just got back from Orlando. I took the team to the Jared James Advance, and it was so good. I was just telling Val that they gave out really nice t-shirts that I got for Anthony, and he wouldn't even wear it. So sorry, Jared James. We need to pick up our t-shirt game. But other than that, the nuggets that were dropped all week were amazing. The team was so excited to be there. And I've got my top 5. So top 5 today from the Jared James Advance. And this is for agents, mainly for agents and a little bit for you, the buyer and the seller, just so that you know kind of what your agents are going through and maybe things to think about when you're picking your agent and making sure that they're in alignment with what you're doing. So are you ready? Val's here too. Val, you ready?
We're ready.
Okay, she's ready. All right, so number 1, great marketing attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. So I think he says this probably every year for the last 10 years. They were celebrating their 10 year, but it's my first time hearing it. And I love this because it's all about you. It's saying there's not a right and a wrong, meaning if I'm trying to attract a certain type of person, it doesn't mean they're right or the wrong person. It's saying that if you're worried about being too fill in the blank, right? I'm worried about being too Christian. That's a big one. It's like, oh, if I had a customer one time and I was playing tennis with her and she was like, Katie, you're bold, like saying so much about your belief and what you believe in Jesus and really do you feel like that's going to basically segue you from a whole group of people, like where a whole group of people are going to decide, okay, if Katie's going to be all in on Jesus, then I'm not all in on her. And I said, I would work with anybody. I'm going to work with Jewish people. I'm going to work with atheists. I am able to work with everybody and respect you and your opinion, and that I want that same thing back, right? So I can't work with somebody who is anti-Jesus or anti-people who believe in Jesus. So that is where I would say you draw the line, right? Those are your people. So when it's saying that great marketing attracts the right person, it's saying that the people that are going to respect you, listen to you, and ultimately work with you, even if this is not about real estate, this is just about you as a person. Who do you want in your circle? Do you want people in your circle who respect that you have a different opinion? Or do you want people who hate you for that opinion? Because I know someone's not going to work with me if they hate me, right? So I'm really not that worried about putting something out there and having someone hate me. Does that make sense, Val? Yeah, it's like you can't be worried about every single person liking you, just like every real estate transaction that happens in your town. Guess what? You're not going to be part of it, and you wouldn't even be able to because, man, you'd have to have a huge team, which we'll get into later. So that's what I really thought about. And then I thought number 2 was responsible. I am responsible for whether or not I succeed or fail. So a lot of real estate agents and maybe a realtor that you've worked with or maybe yourself, you thought, man, if I only worked with this person, I would be successful. Or if I only had these tools, man, if I worked at this brokerage, they give me all these different tools and I would be successful, but because I'm over here, I'm not. It's not true. Just like everything in life, whatever you put in, you will get out. Real estate is you eat what you hunt, right? So you need to hunt in order to eat. You aren't just showing up every day. We show up every single day unemployed, meaning you do not get a paycheck to work. You can take someone around for a year and a half and not get paid. So it is a very serious business where if you do not put yourself in a position where you understand that you are able to respond to everything else going around you, then you're not going to succeed. So I would urge you to really get focused on what you can do as an agent, as a professional, and really being a pro instead of an amateur because like he mentioned in this seminar 10 times, amateurs don't get paid. Pros get paid. And people will pay for the value that they're going to get back. So I know Val probably has an opinion about that. Like you've seen thousands of agents and you've seen even 10 or so agents come in and out of our office. Like what is your opinion on the successful ones or what you think is like a deciding factor in what people are putting out there when they're a good agent?
Yeah, I feel like so much of it is self-limiting beliefs. I saw this post the other day. It was a bird trapped in a cage, but the only bars were right in front of that bird. And
Oh, wow.
outside of that, there was nothing holding it back.
Ooh.
And it was like the therapist had said to this person, like, this is you. And I was like, I feel like I could send this to so many
Everybody.
people, including myself. Like,
Yeah.
all the time I am looking at what's happening happening around me, and I'm thinking I am so limited. And the second I step outside of that belief is the second I'm like, what the heck was I thinking?
And why was that holding me back?
Mhm.
It's like the elephant, right? When they're little, they're that little stick is in the ground and they can't get away from it. But then when they're a huge elephant, they still think that little stick in the ground can hold them there. It's literally just believing in, it's also about the past, right? If you've never done something, it's hard to believe that you can do it. So that's why it's so important to have a role model or have a mentor or work with a team. So that's what I would say is if you're an agent that just feels like, gosh, how? Like you can't even see out of the bird cage, right? You've got all these bars in front of you and you're like, okay, I know that success is possible, but I don't know how to get there. You need to get with a team or get with a broker that really understands what you need and then put some things into place, not just goals. Goals are just thoughts of what could happen. Put an actual plan together that you're going to take action on, because without action, nothing happens. And if you don't know that you're responsible for your wins and losses, it's never going to work out. Number 3, the size of your problems will decrease by your ability to handle or solve them. Ooh, I love this one. I am a problem solver. Someone will be like, Katie, aren't you worried about this or worried about that? I'm like, can I change it? Then I'm not. I'm not worried about the things that I can't change. So start to focus on the things that haven't changed in our industry versus all the things that you think are changing, because there's a lot more about our industry that is exactly the same than has changed. But if you talk to somebody who's just eating into the drama, I mean, you would think that the world has ended. It's just like, look, we're going to get into the next episode with a little bit more about politics. Everyone thinks before an election that the world is literally going to end if the other person, the candidate that they don't want to win, wins. And what happens every 4 years? Nothing, right? The world just continues to go, and we just keep doing the same things over again, even though in 4 years from now, right before an election, what's going to happen? The interest rates are going to be higher than they were. They're going to drop right before the election. People are going to hold on tight thinking, oh, I'm going to wait until the election is over until they're going to buy. It's the same cycle. And that's what we go through, like this big circle. Like our society literally goes in these circles over and over and over again, not realizing that you literally can solve the problem. Not that much has changed. And if you focus on the things that you can actually change, that's when you start going in a better direction. I know with my agents, they'll call me and you would think that they're like, dog died. I mean, that to me is like, I don't have kids. So if that's the worst thing I can think of is like if my mom obviously got sick, but my dog dying. Sometimes I feel like that's what happened. And then they start talking about the problem and I'm thinking, okay, solution 1, solution 2, solution 3, pick one. Okay, 1's not good. Let's go to 2. 2's not good. Let's go to 3. None of these work for you. Let's create another one. There is a solution to every problem. So if you look at everything like solution based instead of focusing on what is the worst possible scenario, you will be able to overcome everything. And the example that Jared James gave was, he said, mowing a lawn isn't that big of a deal unless you plan on doing it with scissors, right? So if you were going to mow a lawn with scissors versus getting on that really cool one that you like sit on, right? Or the one that you push, it's like all these levels, right? You're either looking at as problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. What are you thinking? She's like, talk to the mic. Talk to the mic. Test, test, test. So that's just what I'm thinking, you guys, is if you have these types of problems and you're seeing everything as like a woe is me, change is coming, you need to get with a group of people. You are the sum of the people around you. And this comes with problem solving too. Get with people who solve problems, not people who create problems or dive into a problem head first to have something to cry about, because you're going to be crying with your problems for a long time past when someone could have solved them 10 times over. And then number 4, I think is the most important for right now for buyers, sellers, and agents is relationships are stronger than a contract. Okay. Your relationships with each other and your buyers and your sellers and even other agents, it's so much more important than what contract gets signed. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to get these contracts signed to go show property. Well, really, if somebody signs a contract with you that's exclusive and then they go sign a contract with someone else that's exclusive and they buy a house, who are you fighting for the money? Are you going to sue your customer? I mean, that's a question you're going to have to ask yourself. I'm not. So if you're not going to sue your customer, then you're just going to be crying again. You're going to be on problem number 3 again, like, woe is me. So if you have a good relationship with the people that you're in business with, you don't even have to worry about this. Whether you have a contract signed or not, you're going to get the deal done and you're going to get paid. So I'd say that is number one most important thing for you to remember, is that no matter what contract you convince someone to sign, your relationship with them at the end of the day is what's going to make you a success, not just for this transaction, but for the next 75 transactions that are tied to that one referral. Because I know that most of my business comes from referrals, and those referrals are not just the person buying and selling again, it's every single person that comes into town. They're my cheerleader. They know that if they want their friends and their family to have the best, they're going to refer them to me. And that's built on years of relationships that I've developed. And I hope the same for you guys. Don't plan on just going around town getting a bunch of ink on paper, because that ink is going to dry up real fast and it's not worth the relationships.
What would you recommend for an agent who's like new to the business or new in their area and doesn't really have those relationships? Like, how would you start building them?
Ooh, I like that. So, how did I do it? I picked things that I love. So, that's the thing about you again. Don't be afraid to go have fun. Like, if you only, this is something that came up at the advance also. A lot of agents, especially new agents, are working so hard and making so many calls, and they're so focused on business that they're not doing anything that they love. And then the longer you're in the business, you start doing the same thing. You lose your weekends, you lose your nights, and you really forget like what it's all for. Like, why am I even doing this? And you're doing it because you love something else, right? I love to play tennis. So I started playing tennis with the same group of ladies over and over and over again. They got to see my work ethic. They got to see that I'm passionate. They got to see that I'm competitive. And that was either a really good mix. Some of them decided to work with me in real estate, and some of them didn't, because I'm not everybody's style. And that's what's so cool is there's probably 5-6 agents in my tennis group, and we're all getting different business, not just going there for business, going there to develop relationships. And then like maybe someone who's in tennis isn't selling their house, but their sister or their brother, or I had it where the person wasn't selling their house, but their cousin was moving into town. And who did they refer? They referred me, because they were like, gosh, Katie knows what she's doing. She's always doing open houses. She's hustling, right? She's working. I see what she does. She's running in, she's running out quick because she's got to go get showered and be at a showing. So I would say pick the things that you love. Don't try to, people like, oh, I guess I should play golf because I heard that you can make a lot of business relationships when you golf. Sorry. No, like don't try to force a hobby on yourself because you think you're going to get business there. Because I can tell you straight up, if you start playing golf and you don't love it, first of all, you're not going to be good at golf. You're not going to golf enough to make a relationship. And who are you golfing with? 1, 2, 3 other people at a time? It's just not, don't force it. Do something that you love and start to be in the community. If you love kids, like you love schools and you love helping schools, like volunteer at the school, join a committee, like do things that actually serve your community, and people will see how important things are to you. And then you will start to develop these amazing relationships with people that have like-minded things going on, right? I don't have kids, which is that's a huge place where you guys meet people, and I don't have that. So I have to create places. So I would suggest the same for people who are brand new. Just get into some groups and don't go there hoping to get. Go there and give as much as you possibly can. These groups that you're in on Facebook and you're like, me, what can I get? Who's going to help me? Who's going to sell with me? Who's going to buy with me? If you start loving on people and not fake, like, love that dress. Oh, I hate that dress. I see people do that. They're like commenting on things. I'm like, did you really like that dress that much to make that comment? Or are you just trying to fake a relationship? Same thing online. People can see right through it. Get into those groups and give. I just went to a place I had I'm sorry, I like chicken fingers. I don't eat them that often, but when I do, it's really, I love chicken fingers. I'm going to tell people where those chicken fingers are. Is that going to lead? Am I thinking if I give people chicken finger advice, they're going to come to me for real estate? No. But when people see you time after time trying to give them something back, like, hey, try this place. This person's amazing over here. Get your massage over there. You become someone in the community that people respect, and they want to know where you're going. Where'd she get that? How'd she, who did she meet over there? Like, you want people to want to be in community with you. So do that by serving the community. So that's what I would say for that. And then don't delegate your genius. So this is just for you, whoever you are. You've got these things that just God gave them to you. It's talent. It's things that are inherently easy and fun. Don't try to push those on to other people to take care of for you, because in business especially, me and Val had kind of a joke where she's not like really a number person, right? Val, would you consider yourself a mathematician? No, she's not a mathematician, right? So I basically set up, and Jared James described it perfectly, where he said when you start delegating these tasks, you're basically putting all these landmines all over the place. And like as soon as someone steps in 1 out of 10, you're like, see, I shouldn't have hired an assistant, or I shouldn't have joined a team, or I shouldn't have gone to that brokerage. This is like relevant for everything. I shouldn't have joined that group. I shouldn't have whatever. It's that you're trying to create like a yes or no, when really you have to be able to do the things that you love and give the things that you're not great at to others. And then things that you're really good at too, you've got to find someone to help you with them, because ultimately if you want to be the most successful person that you could be, you can't do it all. But don't delegate the things that are best, like you are the best at. Try to keep those things tight, because you'll see it with social media all the time. I'm sorry, agents. These social media companies that you're hiring, I had a team lead before that hired one of these companies, and these posts that are going out that are so blanketed. It's like, look at what we're doing for fall. And it's like this, it's basically the same leaf on everything. Like we don't even have leaves here. You know what I mean? Do we? I don't even know. I don't think leaves fall in Florida, really, especially during fall. So that's really not good for our market. And then if you're just posting all this random stuff just to stay consistent, you are not consistently getting in front of people, showing them who you are. So I highly, highly recommend that when it comes to social media and doing things online where you're supposed to be the person that people are getting to know, you cannot hire a company to be you. It's not going to work out. So if you're not willing to give time to give people a little bit of authentic content, then don't even do it. You know, I really don't think that people should be just like hiring companies to put fake content out there all day, because at the end of the day, no one's getting to know you, which circles us back to number 1, that great marketing attracts the right people and repels the wrong. You might be repelling the wrong people and you didn't even know it. Any other things come up for you, Val? I think we covered it. I think that's the top 5 from Jared James Vance. You guys, it was amazing. There were breakout sessions on YouTube, social media, like all the things happening in the industry and beyond. And we are going to get into the next episode coming up. And it's either going to be your favorite thing or your least favorite thing. We're going to talk about politics. So skip that one if you hate that stuff, and watch it if you're into it. And I will talk to you guys later. And until then, stay elevated. I did get a t-shirt. It just was ugly.